We're gonna make a new document. Okay, so let's see here. We're gonna go to web. We got some presets here, 1920 by 1080. Now, if you wanna actually have a transparent background and be able to export it transparent, you need to be able to hit this transparent background little key right here, or it's gonna add a white background that you can't remove. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and hit create, 1920 by 1080. Now we have our cool transparent background. I wanna just show you a couple things. So one of the first and most important parts here is understanding, one, the transparent background, but two, understanding the interface itself and the interface of the program. So over here is your toolbar. These toolbars are very, very important for you to be able to understand going through these. And you can see here, there's these little clips kind of like in Photoshop. So step one is getting your canvas set up. Step two is actually understanding this program. So inside of this program is you have your contextual toolbar here, as I think that what they call that. And then here's your other actual toolbar. So there's two toolbars in here that are really, really neat. And the other thing that you need to know is there's actually different kinds of workspaces, but they call them personas in Affinity. So this is the designer persona. You have your pixel persona, so when you're creating something with pixels, and then you have this last persona, which is your export persona. This is where you're gonna save and edit and basically render out or export your files. So these are the different workspaces. If you work in here, you're gonna be working in vector primarily, which is great because you can scale them to any size and you'll have no problems in there. So just looking at a few of these tools, you can see here, you can click in the bottom corner of them and you hold down and you'll see there's some different options in there for you. So if I can grab a little squiggly line, I can grab this, right? Now all of a sudden you can see here, here's that curve. Now if I go into here, this is all editable. So I can click one of these little nodes. Let me see here, I'm click and drag. And I can actually move one of these, probably with this guy here, and move them. So it's really neat what it allows you to do. I can create all kinds of cool stuff because it's in vector. Vector is really the primary way that you're gonna wanna design anyway. Now you can see here, this has got the stroke that's outlined, and then you also have your panels here. So I wanna show you, there's your history panel, your navigator panel, you have your colors, your swatches, your strokes, you have your brushes, you have your appearance, which is really neat. So if you wanted to change this for some reason and you wanted to have a fill color right here, you can just go in here and switch this to blue, and now all of a sudden you got a fill color. So there's a lot to do inside of Affinity Designer. The third thing I wanted to show you that's really, really important is the pre-made shapes. So obviously you have your squares, right? If I just click and drag, I can make whatever kind of square, rectangle, whatever I want. If I hold shift, it's gonna constrain that and give me a perfect square. Same thing on the circle. If I hold down the circle and I hold down shift, it's gonna make my circle perfect. But then if I let go, I can make an oval, I can make an ellipse, I can make a thin little line. It lets me do whatever I want. And then I have all these custom shapes. So I want you to be able to understand that. And then being able to also navigate through the document itself. So let me just show you something here. So if I scroll up, you can see here, there's different layers, right? And so being able to understand your document and understand how to navigate through your document, if you hold the space bar, in fact, I'm gonna hit V real quick and it's gonna go back to my main cursor tool on my keyboard. Now I hold the space bar. Now I can click and drag on my document and navigate all the way around. If I wanted to hit Command minus on my keyboard, I can make this thing smaller. I hit Command plus and I can make it bigger. If I hit Command or Control, for some of you guys, it's Control if you're on a PC, it's Command if you're on a Mac. I can hit the O, or the number 0, and it's gonna fill that whole space in. So this is navigating throughout the document, which is really nice. And I wanted to go through these things so you can really understand how to get around this program, as simple as and easy as it is. I wanna just kind of I wanna be able to just kind of cut your time down on how much you need to learn about this program. Okay, so the number 5th thing that I have for you is actually working with your different colors. So let's just pick a document here or image here. And now, as I showed you inside of the color palette, I can go over here and I can actually specifically click on a specific color in here. I can do a swatch. I can pull a swatch from somewhere, so I can click on this. And you can see here, I can pull this in here, blue, right? I'm gonna open up, there you go. So now I can adjust those colors there. And you can see I have my little navigator panel there. If I want to adjust the stroke, I can do that, just adjust the width on it. I can go even bigger. Now that stroke happens to be black, just like that. So if I want to click and change that stroke, all I got to do is go in here and switch it that way. Now with your layers themselves, so you have your 3 layers. To turn a layer off, you just unclick there, turns it off. Do that with any of these, right? Turn that off. Now, if I move this layer above here, right? you can see it's on top of this crazy swiggly line I got. Now if I click this one, I drag this on top, that's in the center. Now let's just say I want to make this on top. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it up. Boom, that's going to be on top, and I want to click and drag this one down, and it's going to be below it. So let's just say I want to do something like this. I want to take this, click up in here. And if I don't want to select any layers, all I do is hit the escape, and now I'm not selected on any of them. So this is just something just playing around. There's no real artwork going on here, but I wanted to show you how to use your layers properly. And then if you right click, you even have some other options here on the layers: exclude, lock, hide, mask. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. Rasterize, there's a whole gamut of options. But today, just for the sake of time, we don't have time to go into all those other options. I just want to show you the basics. Now the next one is combining shapes. Now this is interesting. So in order for you to combine some shapes, there's two ways to go about doing that. So I'm going to click this shape, I'm going to hold down Shift, I'm going to click this shape, and now if I just click Add right here, it's going to combine those two shapes together, and it's going to convert that top one into the same color. Hit Command or Control Z, it's going to undo that. Now if I do the same thing but I hit Alt or Option, it's actually going to create a compound shape. So I can actually go in here later and edit this and move this thing around. Turn just this piece off, turn that piece on. So this is a really neat option and a function that you should be able to do as well. Something I want you guys to be able to mess around with and practice. It's really important that you get some practice on this program, just having some fun. Now, let me just turn these layers off real quick and clear off my clipboard, or clear off my artboard. And now we're gonna mess with some text. So let's go ahead and add some text here. I'm gonna click and drag, there we go. I'm gonna type in Affinity. There you go, that's a nice word there. And then we can actually go in here and change the fonts. I can pick one of my fonts right there. Look at that, isn't that cool? I can add strokes to it if I want to. There's a lot of different things here. There's no stroke on it now, but if I want to add a stroke, all I gotta do is just say I want to add a bright red, right? And I go into my stroke palette here, bring that up a little thicker, and I can adjust whether I want it aligned on the inside, on the outside. It looks pretty cool on the outside, on the center. So it lets you choose where you want to align that, as well as the cap. And there's all kinds of settings underneath that, but for today, I just want to try to keep it as simple as possible. We're going to go ahead and turn that back off. And then if I want to adjust my kerning, I can hit Alt or Option and click left to the right. And you know, kerning is really, really important. And this is how you would mess with your text. You can actually size your text just in here by going up and down. Oops, up in here. So you can make it bigger or smaller, go back up this way. I can scale it this way. You can click and drag. I can bring it up and down. So however you want to make your text look cool, you can do that. There's a lot of different functions and features and body headings. You can label things, left align, right align. You can add some styles, emphasize some stuff. You can make just all kinds of cool settings within here. And so I'm just going to click this, put this right kind of towards the center there. There you go. And so the next thing I want to do, and this is number 8, is I actually want to draw some custom objects. So we're going to draw some custom objects kind of like I did in the beginning, but I'm going to use the pen tool. So we're going to draw something custom. So I want to say Affinity. I want to make a cool A. So we're going to go ahead and hit here. In fact, let me hit Command Z. If you hold down Shift, you can see it's drawing a straight line. So I can bring this out and do the same thing here. If I hold down Shift, I haven't let go of Shift yet. It's going to try to draw a straight line again. But I want to make sure that this aligns with the other side. This goes out a little bit more, a little bit more. There we go. So now I'm going to go in here and bring this up. It's probably around here. Boom. And so if I want to make an adjustment to this, I can click this and I can just bring this up. There we go. That looks like a pretty straight line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over here on the right, and then I want to right click and I want to duplicate this. I'm pretty sure it's going to let me duplicate it. Let's see here. Transform, group, copy. Okay. Now you're going to hit edit. You're going to hit paste. Okay, so now I have 2 of these. Now what I need to do is transform. There we go, transform. I'm going to flip horizontally. Boom, there we go. Remember what I talked about earlier about creating a custom object? So now I can grab this, and grab this. I'm going to bring this up here. Okay, and I want to align these top and bottom. So I'm going to grab this, and there's an align tool. So I'm going to align these at the top. I'm going to align these like this. And I want to make sure, whoops, see, I can totally align these. Now I'm going to go in and 1 pixel to the left. There we go. Now these should be able to be combined. I'm going to click and drag this one, hold Shift and click and grab that one. Now I want to combine these. Remember, hold Alt or Option down and hit Add, and now they're one solid object. So this is a custom object that that you can create for your designs. If you want to go back and edit it, you can just click inside the little triangle, edit each one. What I wanted to do real quick was just kind of click in here. There you go. Oh, because I have them compounded. So if you want to uncompound them, you can, but I have them compounded right now. And then the last thing is being able to save and export. So like I showed you before, you go over here to your export persona, right? And where you're going to export your stuff. And we're going to go ahead and take this document here. And let's see here. So we're going to have to pick either the selection. So here we go, PNG. I want to go with JPEG, best quality. And there we go. I'm going to click all of these. Where's my text? There we go. I can create a slice. So now we go File, Save As. Or save it as a Photoshop file, that's cool. Or you can go File, Export. You pick PNG. I can pick JPEG. These are all the different file types that allows you to do, even Photoshop. So this is pretty compatible. I can do a JPEG high quality, you hit export, boom, you save it. So Affinity, there we go. I'm gonna save this inside of my desktop, right there, boom, hit save. Now it's gonna save it with a white background because I have the transparent background in here, but I didn't save it as a PNG. So if I want a PNG, I can go back over to PNG, do the same thing, export. I can even pull this open, name it the same thing, Affinity PNG, hit export. And now if you look, I have both of these files inside here, one with a transparent background and one without. There you go. So those are the 10 things that you need to know. Wanted to run those through by you real quick so it would help you out. All right guys, so I just installed Affinity Designer. This was my first time ever using Affinity and I wanted to run through those 10 things real fast for you guys. I hope this was super helpful. If you haven't used Affinity before, I actually highly recommend it. It's a really great price, it's a great tool. It has a lot of neat features. It almost is like combining Photoshop and Illustrator together. Because there's just so much that you can do with blendings and drop shadows and all kinds of cool stuff that this allows you to do. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you, God bless, and as always, keep looking up.